Welcome to part 2 of our Growatt and LG RESU16 installation series. On today's episode, we're going to cover the DC wiring between the solar panels and the inverter, the DC wiring between the RESU16 and the inverter, the communications cable wiring between the LG RESU16 and the inverter, and the communications wiring between the inverter and the MID. We're also going to go ahead and energize the system and test everything with the voltmeter. If you haven't seen part 1, go back and check that out. That covers all the unboxing, mounting, and the AC wiring connections. And then be on the lookout here in the next week or so for part 3, which is going to cover the entire commissioning process. Let's get into it. Okay, so I made a pretty stupid mistake when pulling this wire here. I pulled this 4-wire RS485 cable between the battery and the Growatt inverter, and I came to find out that that was the wrong cable to use. You do want to use this between the inverter and the MID, but for the communications between the inverter and the battery, you want to just pull standard Cat 5 cable, because it does require a little Cat 5 crimp here on the Growatt side of things, where it plugs into the circuit board. So I'm going to have to abandon this RS485 cable. This stuff is expensive, and unfortunately I already pulled it through the conduit. So I'm just going to pull a Cat 5 cable external to the conduit between the battery and the inverter, and just kind of leave this capped off for now in here. Alright, so crimping your own Cat 5 cables are a really common source of human error. You just have to be so careful with these. The wires are so brittle, the connections, it's really easy to get wires crossed or get a bad crimp. So you just have to really pay attention here. When you crimp both ends, you can use a Cat 5 testing tool. In this case, we're not going to have a cable end crimped on at the LG Chem side of things, so we're not going to be able to utilize that. Check your color code a second time. Orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white. See, I've already got my blue, white, and greens mixed up here. Blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. Alright. Now you just want to do a fresh cut across the top so that they all are the exact same length. And then you take your connector with the clip facing away, slide it up in there. You press this way up in there. You want to make sure the sheathing there surpasses that little hold down clip. In this case it does. You want to double check your color coding, make sure nothing got crossed. So I still see that it is orange, white, orange, blue, white. Let's see, I can't even tell. Orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. So I feel good about that. I'm seeing that it's all these wires are stuffed up in the connector. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in my crimper. And I'm gonna crimp down. Make sure you crimp all the way. And there you go. You got a nice Cat 5 cable crimped in. Alright, next I'm gonna just leave a little loop here and terminate it right there in my battery communications. just make sure you do a little tug test on all your wires there. Like all mine are seated. These are extremely delicate, so just be careful. Looks like my camera turned off during that, but essentially you're gonna want, if assuming you used your B code over there with your Ethernet crimp, you're gonna have orange in the enable 12 volt or enable positive. You have the orange white in the enable ground or the enable negative. You're gonna have your brown wire in the RS485A, and you're gonna have your brown white wire in the RS485B. Alright, so it turns out this is the dark start button here. To be honest, I'm not sure if this is necessary if you're not implementing rapid shutdown. I wasn't able to find a ton in the manual. I haven't really spent enough time to sit down and read through the entire manual yet. But essentially, I'm going to just go ahead and install it. I know on other systems, the issue becomes if rapid shutdown, basically if the battery goes dead overnight or something, and rapid shutdown causes the system to go offline in the morning when the sun comes out. If there's nothing to send that signal to the panels to stay on, they just won't wake back up and start charging the battery. So I'm guessing that's what's going on here. I'm going to just go ahead and install it and figure it out as I go. So you take this little plastic plug out of the back here. Pop that little plug out of the way. Alright, and then you just take that little wire and you plug it in up here in the circuit board. Now we're going to wire up our communications between the inverter and the MID. Alright, so on these communication wires, you only want to ever drain one end of the shield. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that. Maybe over there in the MID since it's a little bit bigger. So for now, I'm just going to take this other end and just wrap it back around the conductor. Just in case we get desperate for some reason and need it later. Okay, so now we got these 2 and 3 pin connectors. We're going to connect our RS485 cable too. Alright, starting with the 2 connector, I'm going to do red on the left, black on the right. Do a little tug test. Make sure there's no bare copper that could touch in between the 2 wires. In this case, we're good. I'm going to go ahead and plug that one in. Next, on the wiring diagram, it's showing blue and green. I don't have green, I've got orange, so I'm going to replace green with orange. You skip the middle connector. Alright, so next we bring our S45 cable into the Growatt SYN. We're going to take a little drain wire and we're going to terminate it there in the equipment grounding conductor block. It's going to get rid of any electromagnetic interference. Usually want to wrap that drain wire around an existing ground just to make sure you get a good connection, since the wire is so small. So in this case, I just take the wire and kind of wrap it around that one, terminate it right there in that grounding block. So next we start with these 6-pin connectors. We are going to put our black in the bottom one or red on the next one up. Connector is going to land right here on the lower port. Boom. On the next connector, they're going to land in the middle 2 ports. Blue on the bottom, orange on the top. Nice good connection. The copper's not hanging out of there touching each other. We're going to call that good. Next, we're going to screw this little antenna in the bottom of the inverter. The instruction manual insinuates you've got Wi-Fi and cellular, but looking up here, only one of them has a wire connected to it. And it's not clear to me if that's Wi-Fi or cellular. I'm hoping it's Wi-Fi because we don't get great cell signal out here. We're going to find out. Oh yeah, it looks like the label right here up on this wire says Wi-Fi, so cellular must be purchased separately or something. Alright, now next is the Growatt electricity meter there. In this case, it's built into the SYN already, and it is monitoring the input there with those built-in CT clamps. Which is really nice because CTs, believe it or not, are actually pretty difficult to install, and it's a huge source of human error. And this way it just eliminates that error, so no risk of screwing up the CTs manually. But that being said, if you're not using this 200 watt transfer switch, there are configurations, right? You can just install this inverter by itself. Without the big MID there, and it actually has like a little 90 amp pass through or something along those lines, where you've got, you know, load in and load out, so you could actually, you know, back up a small critical loads panel with just the inverter itself. But the issue there is you're gonna have to install a separate electricity meter and manually install the CTs upstream of all home loads if you are trying to use the system to offset your entire utility bill. And so next, before turning everything on, we always just want to verify that we haven't screwed anything up. So in my case, right, I'm going to take my Klein voltmeter here. I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm going to turn it to volts DC, and we're going to test the voltage there on the line side of the DC conductors coming down from the roof. Alright, and I've got 400 volts in the positive, which is exactly what we would expect for one string. We should get 0 volts on this other string since I'm not currently using it. Yep, 0 volts. So next we're going to open up our disconnect here for the test systems. We're going to go ahead and flip it on. See here, we got some lights lit up. I'll have to read the manual to see what those mean. But we'll go ahead and flip this to volts, alternating current. Make sure everything adds up here. Probably should have done it, you know, on the line side of that before I, you know, flipped it on, but I feel pretty confident everything's good to go here. Hey, DIY is not for everyone. This takes a lot of skill and a lot of effort. If you're just looking to hire someone to install solar and storage on your home, go ahead down in that description below, click on that Rocky Broad solar intake form. Just take a couple minutes to fill out a few questions about your specific scenario. we'll get back to you within a few days with a zero cost pressure free quote. We got 240 volts, which is exactly what we want to see. We got 244, good there. So I'm liking the way everything's looking at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this inverter circuit breaker on. And really, you should do all this with the dead front on. Do as I say, not as I do. Now we got the inverter lighting up, so that's promising. I shouldn't need back in here for now. I am going to leave the dead front off in case something's off and I need to get back in here, but for now I'm going to go ahead and just close this because, again, we got some pretty major power in here and we don't want to accidentally come into contact with anything that's going to kill us. Turn the DC on. See the little sun icon blinking a little bit. Get the exclamation point solid blue. Not really liking this red exclamation point over here on the SYN. I do have a green battery light, which insinuates it's connected to the battery. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the DC disconnect on. Now I see that sunlight icon sort of flickering a little quicker for a minute there. Now we're going to turn our battery disconnect on. See all those lights lighting up. So we had a productive day. We got all the battery DC wiring installed, all of the PV DC wiring installed, all the communications between the battery and the inverter, the communications between the inverter and the SYN. We went ahead and tested all the voltages. We flipped everything on. My phone's about to go dead here, so I might have to save the commissioning for another video. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Till next time, take care.